think we have the Bottomley here with us this morning. Tracy Bottomley.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Tracy Bottomley, of course you know, and this is Paul Harrison, CFO for Bottomley Evergreens. He's going to be the clicker here this morning, so I've got me an assistant. Everybody has that.
Feel warm up.
Don't you go to sleep. You won't go to sleep. I'll talk to everybody. Trust me. We'll keep you awake.
Do one more.
One more.
There you go. There you go. Okay. So good morning, guys. We're here to talk to you guys about our business. As most of you know, that we've been present in this community for several years. My father started a business back in the late 60s doing cabbage produce and also doing dairy farming. So unfortunately we're not dairy farming no more. We sold out in 2015, but of course we expanded quite a bit in other areas. Talk to you about our products that we actually do. It's Christmas trees, Christmas wreaths, we do baskets. I think Tom Smith and Mike James, they came over last year while I was in production. They got to see that operation going. And of course we do pumpkins. We started pumpkins here in the county probably about 20 years ago. I was one of the first ones to ever do pumpkins here because I've done some research and found out that our climate and our elevation was just perfect for carving pumpkins. You just can't go off the mountain in a flatland type environment and grow pumpkins. So that works really well for us and other farmers here in the county. We also do cabbage, broccoli, and kale. And on there it says we do corn. Now we do a lot of different kinds of corn. We've never done this until about, I guess we started about 7-8 years ago. We replaced cantaloupe product, our project that we were doing in Surrey County, and we went over to sweet corn. We currently do about 750 acres of sweet corn every year that we do, and we start picking in July and go all the way through about September the 15th or 20th. Now, out of that 750 acres, about 400 acres is actually grown here in Alleghany County. So we have the privilege of being so close to Surrey County and Wilkes County because the climate there is totally different. So we start our season 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks earlier there, and when that finishes up, then that's just the perfect time to move here on the mountain to be able to finish our produce, so we can just do more volume that way. Our locations, everybody knows, our home is Ennis, and we also have this Sparta location. A lot of people didn't know that we actually operate out of the Sparta location this past season. We employed a little over 550 individuals that worked up there during the months of November and December. Actually, we started in October, late October. Mount Airy building, we got a place down off of 77 before you get into Mount Airy. That's where we do all of our warehousing for our gourds and pie pumpkins that we produce here on the mountain. We actually haul them down there, and we got a washing plant and an assembly line that we assemble those before shipment. Elk Creek, yes, in the grain bins. We built a brand new grain bin. Actually, there's 5 bins there to hold our grain corn. So go back to corn, we've got sweet corn, we've got silage corn that we produce for other farmers and ourselves. And we also do grain corn. And we do about 1,400 acres of grain corn that we go on the combine and harvest in late November and December. And then all that is hauled down the mountain because we want to keep it close to interstate. So, of course, when the market goes up, it's right there on the side of the 77, and off it goes whenever the price we see fit to sell it. Then we go to Elk Creek. That's where we do all of our Christmas trees over in Elk Creek. That's where we do all of our palletizing and loading out our trucks. Then we've got a property out in Gresham, Oregon. That's where we manufacture and make all of our West Coast wreaths. Believe it or not, we have about 75, 80 part-time employees out there that make what we call noble fir. Here in this region, we're all familiar with Fraser fir. Out there, if you go Washington, Oregon, California, they're more used to what they call the noble fir. So it's much cheaper since that product's located out there to make it out there and then you ship from out there. And also we ship some of it back here to the East Coast. Next slide. Some of our customers that we sell to, as you can see here on the slide, Walmart, Sam's, Costco, Lowe's, Home Depot, Harris Teeter, Food Line, Wakeford, Trader Joe's, Kroger. There's probably another 15 or 20, but I don't want to bore you with the list. But a lot of these, it's kind of good because we got into the greenery business back in the 90s, mid-90s, with my brother Mitchell and my dad starting that business. And once we got into that, it opened up a lot of doors for us because we already had the sales contacts at these companies. We've always done cabbage, so we started marketing our own cabbage. We start doing all these marketings, and next thing you know, we're selling Harris Teeter Food Line, we're selling cabbage, we're selling sweet corn, we're selling pumpkins, and of course, in the wintertime, they get greenery. So it's instead of them having to go to multiple different companies to supply, 5 or 6 different products, we're a type that we can come in, we can provide it, ourselves. Next slide. At Bottomley Evergreens, we got several different companies, how we broke it up. At full-time, we got 86 full-time here in the county that work for Bottomley Evergreens and Farms. And we've got 75 guest workers here that are H2A status that help us do all of our produce. And during the peak season, you see we have about 665 employees. That's when we're doing our greenery. That's when we need the most amount of people. Now that's directly employed, 665. Indirectly, it's probably well over 1,500 because we subcontract out a lot of stuff. We actually have other farmers here in the county that make wreaths, roping, and we purchase it from them, we market it for them, and we sell it to those other customers we talked about. If you look at truckloads of product that we ship, we're at 3,100 tractor trailer loads of product that we move every single year. Up here at Sparta, as you know, in November and December, it kind of gets a little hairy with these trucks. And thank goodness we got the bypass coming because you're looking at 150 trucks a day out of Sparta, North Carolina. So it gets kind of busy. So but if you look at all year long what we ship on all of our produce and all of our greenery, you're looking at 3,100 tractor trailer loads going out. So it takes a large network to make sure all this gets put on.
Can I add one little
Yeah.
tidbit? So 25% of our total annual revenue is shipped in 1 week.
Usually that's the week right after Thanksgiving. That's when it's the busiest. Because everybody wants these products, the greenery parts, in the stores for everybody to have it either on Black Friday or that weekend after Black Friday. Okay, as you know, we're headquartered in Ennis. We actually moved our office to Sparta. Bottomley Enterprises. It's actually in Ennis. I don't know if you guys noticed, but out at our Bottomley Evergreens and Farms off of Shawtown Road, we actually have Bottomley Enterprises. That's where we have our trucking company. Now, believe it or not, we don't usually ship a lot of our own product because we try to work with clientele that's going to be there 12 months out of the year because, we're kind of seasonal for what we do. But we do a lot of long hauling. Usually we'll haul clothes out west to California, and then we'll bring produce from Dole and other producers back here to the East Coast because we haul lettuce, grapes, watermelons, pretty much anything that is grown at a particular time of the year. And that business employs 80 people. So as you see, we employ quite a few people in the county year-round that actually live here and is from here. And that's all the slides. And the other thing that I want to touch base on, Mr. Irwin alluded to it back when they done the Agricultural Hall of Fame, the agricultural numbers for Alleghany County. And I was speaking to him a few minutes ago how I disagree with those numbers. And there's reasons why those numbers are the way they are. But, for 2015, plus or minus a couple of dollars, that number came out to $38 million for all agriculture in Alleghany County. Well, we know that that's false. And there's a couple of reasons. We contacted USDA, I've looked on a lot of websites to see what's included in some of these numbers. Pumpkins is not included in that farming number, okay? And so it's up to the farmer, and they're right, they don't have to report these crops. And if they don't report them, of course, that money it looks much smaller. So basically what we're saying, the pie is bigger than what it appears. Because, I'm very passionate about farming. I left the pharmacy business because I used to be a pharmacist to help my family. My brother asked me to, and I thought about it for several months, and here I am representing our company. But the greatest thing that we see that we have a problem with as far as expanding or growing or maintaining what we're doing, our most precious, valuable resource that's limited to us is actually help. As As you know, when you need 500,000 people, it's hard to get that kind of help, those numbers. And we've asked, and you guys know this, through the town council, we've asked about housing. So it's so important for us to be able to provide great housing for these gentlemen that come, that spend money here, that's growing our local business, we're employing several people. So I just ask when this comes to you guys, y'all consider how important it is for the county. And it's not just us, it's other farmers. Because if we don't grow, they can't grow. There's a lot of them that we buy pumpkins and we market their pumpkins for. Some of them market them themselves, but with us doing what we're doing, you know, we're all kind of tied in together. And so I just ask you, you know, hopefully next month or the month after, we consider allowing us to do some, you know, proper housing in this county the way it needs to be done. That's all I have to say. You got any questions?
I've got just a few of my comments. During the Christmas time, especially during the pumpkin time, when you're traveling all over the state, I go to a lot of Lowe's home improvement places. It's nice to see the Bottomley name.
Yeah.
You go to grocery stores, you see the Bottomley name. From the East Coast to the West Coast.
That's right, sir.
It's all over the place. Now, you were talking about the numbers that are reported. We need, I think the county and especially commissioners need a better way to understand the numbers. And we have no statistics that come to us. The ones that I've gotten were 2015, 2014, and, you know, from what you're saying, those numbers are underreported greatly.
Absolutely. Very underreported.
And there's some way that we need to, I'm not saying we need the credit, but we need the recognition that this county produces those numbers, but we don't know what the numbers are.
Correct. We know what we produce, and that's how we know that those numbers are wrong. But once again, yeah, you're right. It needs to be more of an accurate reporting system, and it's really up to us farmers, all of our friends. They're responsible for reporting, but there's no law saying they have to report.
And then another thing on the amount of truckloads, tractor trailer loads you send out, it's an enormous amount of numbers, truckloads, but since 21 has been redone, has that helped you any? Has it
Absolutely.
made it safer?
Made it much, much safer. Used to, we had a lot of tractor and trailers that would come up Highway 89 and hit 18. And as you guys know, 89 was shut off, I would say 7, 8 years ago from tractor and trailers because of the curves and it's too dangerous. And you can talk to a lot of these truck drivers that's never been here before and versus the ones that's been here year after year because they really like what we do. We get them loaded real quick and they come back the following year. But it's a big improvement for them safety-wise, going up the mountain. And then once they get on the mountain, as far as it being widened. Now, we used to ship a lot of greenery and stuff out of Ennis. And now that we're here in Sparta doing all our shipping, for the greenery season, it's much easier for them. They don't have the tiny narrow road of Shawtown. They'd come off 21, hit Shawtown, or they'd come on out and hit Lake Valley Road. So it was a big improvement for them, absolutely.
I think one thing that we look at with economic development, some companies that are looking at Alleghany, it's a deterrent for some of them when they leave 77 to get to Alleghany.
Yeah.
But with the number of loads that you ship out, and now with 21, it looks to me like, you know, we've improved.
Oh, absolutely. Drastically since the road 21 got widened, it's much easier. I think most people could comment on that as far as town. I know last year, unfortunately, if you look at the GPS, and if you're a truck driver, you've never been to Alleghany County, you got to remember yourself, okay, if I've never been here, how do I get to Bottomley Evergreens? And this was a problem even when it was in Ennis. Is basically it wants them to come all the way uptown and turn left on 18 to get there. That's their route. If you pull it up on your phone, GPS, that's what it's going to send you. And that's why, you know, the bypass is so, you know, that's critically important because that's going to help prevent some things. But, you know, we need some signage. We've done this, and I think we came across this about 7 years ago. We put signs up on Lake Valley in 21, and the State Department took them down. You know, they was approved by the DOT, the quality of the sign, the size of the signs, but we didn't get it approved, and of course, they came and took it down. But I would ask the county commissioners and everybody in town, even town council, if we could put some type of, you know, directions up here, Bottomley Evergreens and Farms, you know, half a mile ahead, or take the next left. Because if you're coming in, you can't see nothing. So if you're a truck driver, and that's all you've done all your life, you're gonna go by your GPS map, and it tells you go right on up to 18 and take that hard left. Of course, you know, that causes a lot of heartburn for local citizens, people having to back up and stop traffic. But, you know, it's amazing what a $200 sign can help do.
Just one more point. Could you touch on the different types of pumpkins, and then the reason you plow so many under?
Okay. Well, you know, basically there's a little over 100 and some different varieties of pumpkins that we get to choose from. And we choose those because if you don't want to grow the same pumpkin year after year after year, because you've got volunteer plants that come up the following year, and basically if that plant comes up and then a bee pollinates it and goes to your other one, you get a cross of the fruit and your fruit ain't right. So we kind of stagger it, basically crop rotation within itself. And so we grow ourselves about 40 different varieties, from anywhere from what they call heirlooms. It's pumpkins that grow a bluish green tint, to bright orange, to white. We do Cinderella pumpkin, which is a good carven white pumpkin that we sell a lot of. And we do a lot of big pumpkins, for depending on what the customer wants, because everybody wants something different, because they all don't want to be priced in the same ballpark. They want something a little bit different from their competitor. Now, as far as why you see a lot taken down, we've had a lot of issues over time where 15, 20 years ago, you could have marketed a lot of those pumpkins. Basically, you had a mouse, or you had a rabbit, or you had a deer come by and take off one little bite of that fruit while it's still green and tender in July. And what happens is that fruit keeps growing, because the deer will not eat that whole entire pumpkin. They just take one bite and they go on to the next one. And so what happens is that's a scarred pumpkin. It actually heals, it won't rot, it doesn't break down. But unfortunately, with the market the way it is, it's changed over the last 10, 15 years. They all want #1 top quality pumpkins. No scars, no nothing on it. So unfortunately, a lot of these pumpkins you see get plowed under. We would love to be able to harvest all the pumpkins, but there's just not a market for them. So we have a lot of cattle people that come by and pick them up, and let them pick them up before we disc them under, and they actually feed them to their cows. So that's another resource that we do.
Mr. Bottomley, if your H2A housing, if it came the way that you wanted to come, how much of an expansion would you be looking at?
Well, it's not really, you know, we want to expand every year, of course. The thing is, we want to expand in the right way. Now, something that's kind of misled is this H2A housing. I know the last meeting it came up a lot in the town council. There's other sources that are legal, and we don't want, you know, as we was telling the town council, we don't want to limit it just specifically to H2A. We've got Hispanics that were born here or born in Texas. They come here, believe it or not, and they're just a United States citizens just like you or me. I don't want to limit the housing just H2A for another reason. Last year we was about 150 workers short. So it's the first time we ever done this, but actually we called a temp agency in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We brought down 50 American workers. We had to house them. We got 50 out of Orlando, Florida, came here, we had to house them. We had 20 from Charlotte, we had to house them. So the housing is just not specific for H2A, it's for anybody that we can get, because we have to have such a large number of individuals to work. So, but it is needed.
Were you asking about growth in housing or growth in the business?
Business.
Well, if you look at the housing, we have all of our houses currently now, most of them are in Ennis. We've got a few in Galax, we've got a few in Independence, and a few in Elk Creek. And that cost us money to bring them to this location. What we were thinking is if we had a few H2A gentlemen, H2B, or however you want to look at it, up here in Sparta, because when these legal migrants come here and they get vetted through the system, they can drive, but it's a long process. They usually don't come with their own car, so usually we provide all the transportation. But if they're working here and living up here on the hill, it would be much easier for that worker and for us. It allows us to do other things and expand.
So last year, we actually produced fewer wreaths and garland than we did the year before, because we were 100, 150 people short. So this year, our goal